It was a tense afternoon in the House of Representatives. The topic was education policy, a subject known to divide sharply along party lines. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, known for her bold language and unapologetic stance, stepped up to the microphone. Dressed sharply and speaking with fierce energy, she launched into an impassioned critique of the current state of public education, student debt, and outdated leadership models. Her words were fiery, aimed at waking up not only her colleagues but the American public. But then, she pivoted, and directly referenced Senator John Kennedy, a conservative voice from Louisiana known for his southern wit and folksy style. We've got senators who speak on education like they've read 2 Wikipedia articles and call it research. Take Senator Kennedy. Trying to lead an education debate is like asking a mime to explain Shakespeare. It's a joke. The crowd was stunned. A mix of laughter, gasps, and murmurs filled the chamber. AOC had just publicly mocked a senior senator on record. The clip was up on Twitter within minutes, with millions of views. Some hailed her bravery, others called it disrespectful. Back in the Senate, Senator Kennedy, who had been quietly reading a report, was informed by his aide. He didn't react right away. No tweets, no press conference, no snarky comeback. He simply looked up and said, "Well, I suppose I'll need a good Southern comeback, won't I?" And then he went quiet, for 2 days. The silence before the shock. While the media frothed at the drama, Kennedy remained silent. No interviews, no public remarks. Meanwhile, political commentators across networks kept speculating. Will he respond? Will he ignore it and take the high road? Is he preparing something bigger? On the 3rd day, Senator Kennedy requested floor time in the Senate. His office released no preview of his remarks. The session hall was fuller than usual, with even House staffers sneaking a watch from the galleries. He stepped up to the podium, slowly adjusted his glasses, and began. "Madam President, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to clarify." He paused. Representative Ocasio-Cortez said I'm a joke when it comes to education. That I'm not qualified to speak on the matter. Well, let me tell you something, not everyone who lacks her accent or Ivy League experience lacks wisdom. I may not speak like a Harvard professor, but I listen like a farmer. I ask questions, I read, and I consult. I've spoken to more teachers in rural Louisiana than some politicians have in their entire careers. Then, without a shift in tone, he began presenting data. Cold, hard statistics. He dissected flaws in her argument, one by one, student debt sources, federal loan interest models, and rural literacy trends. But he did it without anger, without a raised voice. Just calm, direct logic. I don't mind being underestimated. In fact, I've made a career out of it. But the mistake is assuming jokes can't also carry weight. The chamber was dead silent. A few heads nodded. Even some on the opposing aisle couldn't help but admit, it was a powerful moment. Then came his final line. The difference between theater and leadership is that one is for applause, the other is for impact. I'll leave it to the public to decide which we're here for. A thunder of applause broke out from his side of the aisle, and some scattered claps from the other. The aftermath: 2 voices, 1 country. The fallout was swift, and fascinating. The internet, which had initially mocked Kennedy, now flooded with clips of his speech. Commentators from across the political spectrum weighed in. AOC didn't backpedal, but she did acknowledge the moment in an interview. Look, I use humor in my speeches. But I respect when someone comes back with facts. I've got no problem being challenged, that's democracy. She then made a surprising offer. Let's not just debate each other. Let's co-host a town hall, speak directly to students, educators, and families. Let them ask the questions. The media buzzed. To everyone's surprise, Kennedy responded, "I'll bring my boots. Just don't expect me to go easy." The town hall was broadcast nationally. It was tense, passionate, sometimes even awkward, but it worked. The two didn't agree on much, but the crowd appreciated the transparency. They argued, but they also listened. They clashed, but they also connected. That event sparked a wave of bipartisan education events in other states. AOC and Kennedy, though still ideological opponents, unintentionally started something rare, productive discourse. In the end, the viral insult turned into something much more powerful. A reminder that America needs dialogue more than drama. Respect isn't silence, it's speaking truth, and listening just as hard.